What's up, guys?
What's up,
and
guys?
welcome to... Okay.
Let's run with it. No, keep going.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Banter Oh my God. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Banter podcast
What's up, guys, and welcome to the Banter podcast
with Sapnap and Karl. This is our first episode. So for the very first episode, we have a really cool guest with us, our dear friend, MrBeast, also known as Jimmy.
I was about to say, you better call me Jimmy.
Yeah, I prefer to call you Jimmy.
I get weirded out when people say MrBeast instead of Jimmy.
Thank you. I love the scuffed intro. We're just like throwing things at the wall and going with it.
Normal podcasts are boring, so we got to make it different.
Woo!
How are you doing, Jimmy? How's it been since I've been gone?
Things have been going great up until you left.
Jimmy, you recently recorded Extreme $500,000 Game of Tag, and Sapnap was there.
I was there, and honestly, I had a lot of fun because I really like hunting people down. I don't know why. For some reason, like chasing people and stuff is just like a lot of fun to me.
He's getting the itch that we have, Jimmy, where we love ripping money out of people's hands.
Yep.
I thought I would feel bad whenever I tag someone. Like I'd be like, oh, like I just made them lose $500,000. That's a lot of money.
You're like, I just ruined their entire future. It feels amazing.
It feels so good.
What did you think about that, Jimmy? Was it what you were expecting it to be?
Yeah, how did that video go from your perspective? From my perspective, it was great because it wasn't my video. I just run around having fun.
Yeah, that one was an interesting video. Obviously, in the video, it looks a lot shorter than it is, but we were legit playing tag for 2.5 days. So you know, in typical fashion, I always, bigger's better. You know, that's what she said. And so we got like the biggest stadium we could. I'm like, I want to use space outside the stadium. I want to use all the floors of the stadium for this giant game of tag. Last person tagged wins $500,000. And we quickly learned that I picked way too big of a stadium because it's like, it literally takes you 3 hours to check every floor of the stadium.
It was crazy.
Yeah, like if you do 5 scans of the place and you don't find anyone, like it's literally an entire day gone.
And we were literally seeking in groups of 3 that were sticking together in this massive, I think what did it fit? 170,000 people?
Yeah, something
160.
like that.
Close.
I'm sorry.
Close enough.
160,000 people, though. It fit 160,000 people, and we're 3 people seeking. Like, even if we saw them, they're too far away.
But yeah, no, that video turned out good, and things have been going great.
Do you have any big plans for the future, Jimmy?
Yeah, you can discuss.
Big plans. Ooh, for the future. Yeah, step 1, a Sapnap burger, right?
Yeah? What does that
Just kidding.
taste like?
I commented on one of your tweets saying, like, what's a burger you would say? And I gave you the Sapnap burger. It's spicy because Sapnap has flames, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I wouldn't want you would have to do something different, like a Sapnap milkshake or something, so it's not similar to Dream. But regardless, with Beast Burger, we're about to do our first brick and mortar location, and that's nice.
A brick and Morty. They call it a brick and Morty.
Yeah, what is that? What is
Brick and
that?
Morty.
Explain that because I don't know what that is.
I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but yes, we're going to start opening up physical restaurants. We got so much stuff going on. Well, the Espanol channel, we started dubbing our videos in Spanish. If you just search MrBeast en Espanol, that's been killing it.
Dude, wait. Weren't you telling me that your voice actor in it is literally Tom Holland's voice actor for Spanish Spider-Man?
One of so the guy who does my dubs does the same dubs for Spider-Man in Mexico, yes. And so, like, one of the top comments on the newest video was like, please return and voice act for Spider-Man, because they just dropped a Spider-Man trailer.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and dude, I don't even know, like, we picked really A-list dubbers in Mexico for
I
all
picked
of us.
mine out. Well, the guy gave me a list of people, and I was like, this person. Because they voice acted so many cartoons. It was perfect for me. I was like, yes.
Yeah, so we got that. It's for you guys who don't know. It's just basically our videos just dubbed in Spanish. And we're just doing that, and I don't know, a million things going on. Trying to figure out how to put things on the moon, how to give away more money to gaming videos, reacts videos.
Speaking of giving away money, like, how do you guys keep track of like how much money you're spending per video? Because I feel like it's just gotten like so much now. Like, I don't know. How do you? I don't know. Does it feel bad writing out like like $1 million per video? You know.
I feel what you're saying. Yeah. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, like, money spent on videos doesn't equal content. So you always got to preface that, because some people listening would be like, well, just because you spend money doesn't mean it's good. but if you spend money intelligently in ways to enhance it or do cool experiences, then it makes content interesting. But it's literally just been for the last 5 or 6 years, like whatever we make, we just spend it the next month. So, we used to make $100 a month, and I'd tip pizza delivery people $100. Then we make 1,000, spend 1,000, 10,000, spend 10,000. And so if I'm spending more on the videos, that just means we made more money the previous months. Like it's basically it.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I feel like a lot of people don't really like put their money back into.
No one does. No, not no one, but most don't.
I'd say nobody does it to the extent that you do.
Well, yeah, no one at our extent, but because like the thing is, a lot of people are worried their career's gonna fall off, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna be irrelevant in a year. I gotta build a nest egg and this and that. And I'm just crazy, and I'm like, hey, if we spend 30 times what everyone else is spending, and we film 20 times more, and we brainstorm better ideas 10 times more than they are, then there's no world where people don't watch our videos more than someone else's. So why not reinvest it all?
Yeah,
but
it makes a lot
obviously
of sense.
it's a very daring mindset. Like when you reinvest everything, like what are you aiming for? $1 billion or body bag?
Oh, okay. $1 billion or body bag.
What's up, guys? Welcome to this episode of Would You Rather. Sapnap, would you flip this coin with a 50-50 chance of $1 billion or being in a body bag?
Would you flip that coin? Would you do it, Sapnap?
No, I would not flip that coin. I would
$1 billion
Wow.
or a body
Sapnap,
bag?
it was a trick question. No one said you had to die to go in the body bag. You just
Oh.
lost out
I do it
on a
all day.
50-50 chance of $1 billion. Idiot.
Talking about $1 billion, you know what makes a lot of money? Boxing. Jimmy, you've been training for a boxing thing, haven't you?
You're right. Every single day I've been training relentlessly for... Did you say boxing or YouTube?
Oh, I said boxing.
Oh, no. I haven't been training whatsoever and have zero intention of that. Sorry, I misheard you.
You don't want to box me? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, it'd be kind of fun to box you.
I would be scared if I were you.
Me and Sapnap said, though, wouldn't you rather box somebody that you don't like necessarily?
We did talk about that, yeah.
Problem is, if you box someone you don't like, you have to win. And I would have to literally put on hold everything. Like, all the channels, Beast Burger, all this stuff. We have dozens of employees, and I have to be like, hey, everyone, I got to take the next 8 months to a year off to go train and just completely kill all the momentum and everything I spent my entire life building just so I can do a boxing match that would probably barely make money.
Did you guys see like the Jake Paul fight? Did you guys watch that?
I did.
Yeah, of course.
You know, it's like, what'd you think, Jimmy? Who do you think won?
Obviously, Jay.
It was clear as day Jake Paul won.
Yeah, he landed more punches.
I thought it was very clear, but a lot of people on like Twitter and stuff were saying that Tyron Woodley got robbed.
You have the guy who gets more views per video than probably anyone else on the platform here and lives and breathes YouTube every day of his entire existence. And you're talking to him about the one thing he has no earthly idea about.
What am I just supposed to be like, Jimmy? What do you think about this video? And you're like, oh,
Well, okay.
I want to talk about cool stuff.
Hey, I can tell you some cool stuff. I can tell you about the time I almost died.
Yeah, tell that story. Oh, yes, because I know that story and I love that story. Did you know it's the 1 year anniversary of that story?
I saw it on Instagram. Yeah.
How'd you almost die? I have not heard this story.
Okay, so I've never talked about this publicly except for Sap. We never told you this.
No.
That's so weird to me. Yeah, Jimmy, not just kidding about almost died. Like, his life was in his own hands, and then, yeah, just tell it, Jimmy.
Okay, so basically, to give you a little bit of a setup, it's, we just finished a shoot. It's like 8 hours away from where we live. We finished at like midnight. We go to bed. It's me and two of my friends. And like, we don't drink. We don't do drugs, which that you'll understand that later. So just normal. We sleep. Everyone gets plenty of sleep. We get up in the morning and we begin our 8 hour drive. Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so this, weirdly enough, is important to know. I want to give him like a nickname. I don't want to actually say his name. We'll call him Andrew. Andrew was driving.
Well, now we know his name's not Andrew.
Yeah, we know it's not
Yes,
Andrew.
there you go. I don't have any friends named Andrew, weirdly enough, so that name fits.
Perfect.
Hey, unless I do, and then they're crying right now. Andrew's sitting in the front seat, Andrew's driving, I'm sitting in the front seat, and then my friend Tyler's sitting behind Andrew in the back seat, and we're just driving down the highway, normal drive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like, I'll just cut to it. Basically, like 2 hours into the drive, we're all listening to a Joe Rogan podcast, and Andrew just goes, guys, can we stop at a gas station? I'm a little tired. And so I'm looking at my phone. I pause the podcast and I look over at him like, yeah, we can stop. And I just look over and his head's dangling. Literally like
What?
dangling.
What?
Dang. And we're going down the highway right? And so
Bro, my man's cranking 70 miles an hour.
75, yeah. And there's an inclination something went wrong because he literally was asking if we could go pull over to a
Did he
gas
sound
station.
really like tired? He's like, God.
Yeah, and towards the end it was like, can we stop at a gas? And his head dangled, and his arms are like fell off the steering wheel, and we're just going down the highway. But surprisingly, his foot's still on the gas. And so my instant reaction is Andrew fell asleep. So I'm like,
I would think he's just messing with me. I'd be like, dude, come on, this is not funny.
I know, same. So I'm like, I just yell, Andrew, wake up. And I like just grab the steering wheel. I'm in the passenger seat and I grab the steering wheel and I start like, just keeping the car in the lanes because there's other cars around us on the highway. And I'm screaming and he's not waking up. And I'm like, this dude.
This isn't funny anymore, dude.
How do you fall asleep driving down the highway like this after a good night's rest, middle of the day? And this is all flowing through my head in like 3 seconds. And so then Tyler, sitting behind Andrew, grabs his head and just punches him. And he still doesn't wake up. And then that's when it clicked. And that's when it clicked in my head. I'm like, oh, he ain't waking up.
He's not getting up, dude.
He's not. Tyler just wailed on his head. And so we're still all going down the highway. We're actually speeding up. I don't understand. I guess he's got a fat foot. It's just going faster. We're going like 80.
I've seen his foot.
Yeah, we're going 85 miles an hour now. And I'm like, oh, well, step one is I should probably slow this car down. But the problem is if you're in the passenger seat of a car and you try to reach over and touch the brakes, you can't do that while seeing the road. You have to you have to basically put your head under the steering wheel. But I'm the one driving the freaking car.
You gotta get Tyler to drive the car.
Yeah, but this is all happening in the matter of like seconds.
Yeah, I like the idea that Sapnap's coming out with like a well thought out plan when you guys are just speeding down 85, cranking a 90.
Tyler's still punching him in the head, trying to wake him up.
Wake up! Wake up!
No, exactly. So I'm steering the car. I have to put my head under the steering wheel. I'm just driving the car without seeing the road. I grab his leg, pull it off the gas, and I look back up and I'm like, oh, I didn't hit any of the other cars. We got another car riding our butt. And I'm just like, there's a freaking dead person driving. Can you please just chill for 5 seconds, everyone around me?
So you've got the foot's off the gas, and now it's like slowly slowing down.
Slowing down a little bit. I wait for it to slow down to where like, whatever, it felt like 50, 60. To be honest, I had no idea. I was just like, all right, we're slowing down enough. I lean back over to touch the brake. And you know how like on the highway, they have those strips that make noise when you drive on them? Mm-hmm. So I can't see the road, but I'm pulling off the highway and I hear like the strips on the right tire. So I know the right tire's off. Then I hear it on the left. So I know the car's fully off. And I like slow the car down and we're like on the side of the highway. I look up, make sure there's nothing there. And then I just hit the brake. And so we're on the side of the highway. I got the car stopped, and for whatever reason, Andrew wakes up.
Are you serious?
Just wakes up out of nowhere.
Just out of nowhere.
Yeah, and I'm like trying to get up. So like it's hard to explain all these things. We're trying to keep it simple. The parking brake isn't on the side of the steering wheel. It's under my stomach in the middle console. Yeah. So as I'm getting up to put the car in park, he wakes up and gets deja vu and just slams on the gas. I'm not even kidding.
What? Like in a freak out moment?
Yeah, because he was driving when he died. He literally died. And then when he came back to life, he resumed exactly what he was doing. And so he slams on the gas. I don't have my hand near the brake anymore. And I'm like, well, crap. If we go back on the highway, we could get hit by a car going 70 miles an hour. So I just jerked the steering wheel to the right. And we just basically just hit a concrete wall. And like I got bruised all over my head and like my stomach and stuff like that.
Oh my God.
But now we're just hitting and on a concrete wall. The freaking car can't go anywhere. But this time I'm not taking my hand off the brake. I'm like pressing it down, karate chopping the hell out of his feet. Like he died again. He literally died. And I'm like, no, this isn't happening again. Tyler gets out, runs around, just rips his legs out of the car. And then Tyler's dad's a paramedic. And so he was taught, like, if someone passes out, raise their legs above their heart. So he raised his legs above his heart. Yeah, for blood flow. Mm-hmm. And then Andrew wakes back up. And we literally push him out of the car. We're like, you're not moving this car.
You get out of here. Get out of the front seat. You've almost killed us like 5 different times now.
Exactly. No, but to be clear, Jimmy wasn't embellishing. The guy actually died. Like, died and came back.
Well, I'll explain that in a second. And then I get up, I put the car in park. And we're just like, what the hell just happened? And Andrew goes, can someone hand me a water? As my head's bleeding from smashing against the steering wheel when we hit the freaking concrete wall.
Yeah, oh my God.
Yeah, and so then we call the ambulance. They come. They run tests. They can't find anything wrong with him. They run tons of tests, and then apparently when he was in the hospital, like a week later, they were doing more tests, and his heart just stopped. You know, like that machine where you see like the heart waves,
Yeah,
like heartbeats. It just fell flat. He literally died, and I don't know the full details, but he basically has like this condition where his heart just stops beating, and like
what?
He told me he was very lucky because if the second time, if he wasn't in the hospital, he literally would be dead right now. Like, actually.
yeah, and I think they had to shock him back to life, and so they had to cut him open, put a pacemaker in, so when his heart stops, it can kickstart it. So now he's fine, but. Yeah, like when he was driving, I had a guy driving me down the highway that literally died at the steering wheel. And I had to take over the car from the passenger seat with freaking Joe Rogan playing on the radio.
You're like, shut up, Joe Rogan. He's like talking about like aliens or something. You're like, shut up.
Well, and here, imagine this. Imagine if Andrew didn't wake back up after we were slammed against a concrete wall. He legit had bruises on his head from Tyler wailing on him, trying to wake up.
Yeah, it's a weird look.
Tyler thought he was asleep. Like, people would have thought that Tyler reached over, grabbed him, beat him up, and killed him while he was driving and caused us to smash into a wall. Tyler would be on trial for manslaughter.
No way.
If
you were
he didn't
there.
wake
You were
back up.
there. You would be like, no,
Yeah, but
that's
I
not
mean, it
allowed.
would look
I
like
don't know, man. Tyler's kind of a shad, dude. I'd believe it.
And so, yeah, that's the time I almost died because my driver died.
Your driver just died.
What? How selfish of him to die like that.
I know. How selfish to come back to life just to try to kill me a second time and then die again. There you go. That's the type of stuff we want to talk about, not
That
boxing.
was good.
Not
That was
boxing.
good. That was good. That's what we want on,
You know
on Banter podcast. That's our name.
Banter, starring Karl and Sapnap.
Starring Sapnap and Karl.
So Jimmy, you're kind of into YouTube, right? You like it a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
How long have you been on YouTube?
Sapnap, you asked me these questions. Carl, you already know all this stuff.
Jimmy, so you like YouTube, right?
Yeah.
How long have you been on YouTube, Jimmy?
That's a phenomenal question, Sapnap. Thank you for asking.
I have a
So-
follow-up that, don't worry. I have a follow-up that's good.
Okay. Well, so I on the MrBeast channel, I started that when I was 13. I had a channel before. I've been basically doing it since I was 11. So
Okay.
Okay, and now here's my follow-up. And I don't know this one. I can ask you. When do you see yourself like retiring? You know what I mean? Like,
Never.
Are you gonna be 60, like reviewing
Yep.
thumbnails? You think?
Not reviewing thumbnails, but making the greatest videos ever. Yep.
Okay.
I don't think YouTube's going anywhere. Like,
Well, no, I don't
mean-
mean it like that. I just meant like you're gonna.
no, but like seriously, no, like YouTube's only going to get bigger and bigger. It comes pre-installed in Android phones. Like when you search stuff on Google, it brings you into YouTube. There's so many avenues that point to YouTube, and like as more and more people come online, it's only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
And
like,
better.
yeah, and even if like 30, I firmly do believe like 30 years from now it'll still be huge. But even if I'm not necessarily making content myself, I'm always going to be involved in the space, whether it's like doing consulting or owning other channels or da. It's just like YouTube is my life. Like the last 10 years, I have dedicated such a large percent of my life to just YouTube and this, and like this is like the one thing I love more than anything else.
There's no going back.
I like the idea. I like the idea that when TV was starting, there was like a bunch of book readers that were like, I don't think that'll take
Yeah.
off.
Think about this. 10 years ago, Carl. 10 years ago, you were watching TV. You were watching Nickelodeon. You were watching Cartoon Network and stuff like that. Like 10 years ago, TV was dominant and ginormous compared to YouTube. YouTube was nothing back then compared to what it is now, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
like everything we're seeing where like, you know, YouTubers are becoming the new mainstream celebrities and ad dollars are switching all this. This is all very, 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 very recent. And people like, because we're so knee deep, we're like, dang, it's always been like this, but it really hasn't. Like when we
Yeah.
were born, YouTube wasn't a thing, you
Yeah.
know? So
No
give it
one watched
another,
YouTube.
give it another 5 to 10 years and like, we will be the mainstream celebrities. Like, and
do
these,
you truly believe in 5 to 10 years, like YouTubers will be the mainstream celebrities?
Yes,
we'll be having
100%.
the YouTube Oscars.
yeah,
And you'll be the host, Jimmy, and you'll come to me and you'll say the most handsome YouTuber.
in the world, it's Karl Jacobs.
Yes! Yes!
I'll shake your hand, a very nice handshake, and I'll say thank you for this award.
Thank you for letting me present this award to Karl Jacobs. That's what he'd say.
But to wrap up the point, though, that's gonna be exciting to see. It literally just needs time.
I think that's about it. I think we've had fun. We've had a lot of chatter. It's been fun.
Wow. So you just wanted me to join, talk about the time I almost died, and then get rid of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually.
All right, I see what I'm good for. Just some death stories.
Do you have any future projects you want to talk about as like a little
Anything you want to shout out pretty much before you go?
I mean, we're just gonna make the best YouTube videos the world has ever seen, and we're never gonna stop.
Jimmy, thank you so much for being on our first ever episode of Banter.
Banter, yep. That's the name.
Can I close this out?
Yes.
Yeah,
Sure.
go ahead.
Banter these nuts. It's over. You gotta end it now. I want
right.
that to be the ending.
Bye.
Bye-bye.